Plaintiff Randy Ireland says the defendant is a wannabe washed-up rock star who wanted to live the rock star life. And Randy was often stuck driving him around when he was intoxicated. Randy claims during a party at his house, the defendant smashed his dream guitar. So he's suing. Defendant Rick Roebuck says on the night in question, he took his girlfriend to Randy's party, and from the moment they stepped in the house, Randy was flirting with his girlfriend. Rick says Randy even started singing to his girlfriend, and although he admits that he pretended to smash Randy's guitar, he insists he never followed through with it.
Prove your case.
Your Honor, washed up rock stars always make it on TV. I guess wannabe washed up rock stars make it on TV often too, because that's exactly what Rick is. He's a wannabe washed up rock star.
How so?
When I met Rick, I was 14, he was 20. I thought he was really cool because he never really treated me like a kid, he always treated me with respect. I thought he was a cool guy. He inspired me to play guitar because he always talked about playing guitar, playing shows, how cool it would be to be a rock star. He wanted to live the hard, fast rock star life. So, he was my inspiration.
Yeah,
to play
video
guitar.
games like that. Go ahead.
So I bought a guitar.
You bought a video or a guitar?
I bought a video game. I bought a guitar and I started playing, and me and Rick kind of lost contact for a little while. Then he contacted me again on Facebook and asked if I started wanting to go to shows with him and stuff. We liked a lot of the same music, so I thought, why not? It'd be fun.
What type of music?
We like a lot of alternative, some blues, stuff like that. Mm-hmm. We would go to these shows together, and I find out that it's more for me to be his designated driver and his babysitter than actually being friends and going to shows together.
You drank excessively?
Yes, he would drink excessively. We had a lot of fun times at these shows, but then we had some times that weren't so much fun.
How so? Tell me.
Well, there was one time when he convinced a group of girls that he was a roadie with the band, when he obviously wasn't. We were staying at a...
That's clever. That didn't... back when I was that age, I was telling a few lies also to the women.
Well, we were staying at a motel.
That's part of the game, yeah, as a young man.
Well, we were staying at a motel. It was a real cheap motel.
Yes.
So he invites them to stay in the motel with us that night and party it up like rock stars. So he's drinking a lot, and he just starts throwing things around the room, and he's breaking things. We're getting noise complaints from the other room. And we get kicked out at 1 a.m. and we had to sleep in his car that night, which I guess wasn't as bad as the hotel. It was pretty bad. But still, having to sleep in his car that night wasn't very much fun.
Were you all sleeping in the back seat?
Yeah, I was sleeping.
Both of you all were in the back seat?
Not both of us. Not both of us at the same time. He's a rather large guy. I would.
All right, go ahead.
His seat was leaned back. I was in the back. Yeah.
All right.
In May, I bought my dream guitar. It's I have pictures of it.
All right.
It's a Peter Frampton Les Paul.
Let me allow him to give some background before we get to the specifics on the guitar, sir.
Your Honor, we met. My friend Max was dating his sister at the time, so if we weren't hanging out at his place, we were hanging out over there. That was like maybe 3-4 years ago, give or take. My friend Max and his sister, they broke up, and so we kind of lost contact for a little bit. A couple years later, we found each other again on Facebook. I started taking them out to, parties, stuff like that. I drank a little, not that much. Well, you can diagnose me now.
Say, don't diagnose me now.
He's throwing all sorts of little terms at me. He thinks I'm an alcoholic. I drink just to let loose. I work hard.
All right.
But, whatchamacallit?
Take your time.
You give him a drink now?
You might need, you need a drink?
No, sir, I do not. But I take him out, shows, little parties and such. I guess he'd take a little cue from me when he'd see me drinking, because he would always be asking me, like, hey, can you get some beer, some booze, whatnot. Yeah, right. Every time I took you out. But it became clear and clear to me I was more like an ID and a pass in the parties, places he otherwise wouldn't have been. he calls me up one night. He says, want to come over to a party at my place? I figure, sure, why not? I bring my girlfriend along. As soon as I walk in the door, he fixes his gaze right to her. He's looking her up and down. Comes right across in the middle of the room, starts talking to her like I ain't even there. I don't take nothing of it, just, kind of poke him in the ribs like, hey, I'm here too. But the situation just kind of goes away till a few hours later, I notice him. He's propped up on a chair with a little guitar, trying to strum away. A couple of people are standing around paying attention to him. But he has his gaze just fixed right again on my girl. So I walk right up to him. Why the heck are you hitting on my girl, trying to sing to her? You think you're some kind of rock star or something? And he decides he's going to show me up right there.
Let me ask if he did this before we go any further. Sir,
Your Honor,
Forrest says that you hit on his woman.
I don't think that's his name.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gump. His name is Rick. Just have a little fun with you. You do have a few of those mannerisms and the way you talk a little bit. Where you from?
I'm actually from Southern Illinois.
Good enough. All right. Your buddy from down south says that you were staring at his girlfriend and kind of making eyes at her. Were you doing that?
No, that is not true.
All right.
I'm a friendly guy. I guess that comes off as hitting on his girl. It was my party, so I just wanted to make sure everybody was there. They were having a good time, and I was just talking to her. Just being
Gotcha, friendly guy. Whenever you hear that, there's the excuse when you catch a woman with a guy and it looks a little whatever, or the guy that's when you, I'm just a friendly person. Yeah, Mr. Friendly. He says that he wasn't. Proceed before we get to the guitar he's suing you about. He was hitting on your girlfriend. How did you respond?
Well, obviously I ain't like it. I told him straight up, do not do that. You ain't got no place doing that, and you ain't got no chance with a know-how.
Okay. All right. Now you resume with your testimony about what happened to your guitar.
Okay. Well, at the party, he comes in with his girlfriend, and I start talking to her. And that's when he accuses me of hitting on her, and he starts getting a little belligerent, starts pushing me. People at the party actually have to split us up. So
What'd they say? Run, Ricky, run! Run, Ricky, run! What did they say to break you all up? I'm just curious. No, seriously, what did they say to break you all?
They just told us to cool down and split us up.
Told you to cool down and pull
we split up. I thought it was over. I thought it was squashed. And like a little while later, I bring out my guitar and I start playing. And this guitar means everything to me. I love this thing. I mean, I bought it from inheritance that I got from my aunt. And I mean, I don't know what holding your child for the first time is like, but I imagine it's something like me holding this guitar for the first time. Like, I love the thing. I mean, it looked really cool. The ladies loved it. I mean, it was awesome. It's a great guitar. Well, I brought it out and I started playing a little bit, and Rick's girlfriend is somewhere near, and I'm playing, and Rick starts booing me. Because he's a mature person, and he begins to boo me. And I take a little bit of offense to it, right? So I try to hand him my guitar. I say, Rick, if you're so good, why don't you just play for everybody?
I never played in my life, no how.
And what happened?
Oh, when I gave it to him, he got really mad. And he started getting belligerent again and started pushing me. And at this point, I thought it was going to be a fight. And seeing I'm about the average height of a woman, and he's about twice my size, I figured this wouldn't be a good thing for me, so I left. I left the room. And I walk out and I hear a really loud smash. So I turn around and come back in, and Rick is leaving. And he's smiling and he's laughing, and I ask him what happened, and he said, well, I guess you can't play guitar anymore. And then he laughs and he walks out. So I walk into the room and I see my guitar smashed on the ground.
Okay.
And I asked my friend who was in the room, and he told me that Rick did, in fact, smash my guitar on the ground. I have pictures of the damage also.
Yeah, but you're neglectful, sir. A parent doesn't give their child to a person who is angry with them and then leave them with that angry person.
I was more worried about my face at the
Your
time.
child, you're supposed to sacrifice yourself for your child. So this must not be like your child. Go ahead, sir. What happened?
Like I was saying, I was across the room getting a drink, and I turned around to see he's trying to strum off his little guitar to everybody, but he keeps looking directly at her, like he's singing stuff to her. So I went right across the room, and I told him, you can't be doing that. Stop hitting on my girl. You ain't even that good anyhow. And that's when he gets up, it's like, okay, well then, you think you can do better? Here. Well, I ain't never played guitar in my life, nohow. He's trying to show off in front of my girlfriend. And so I took the guitar. I was like, if it means that much to you, I raised it up above my head, pretended I was going to smash it down, but I didn't. I did not do that. I set it down on the ground, maybe a little harder than I ought to have, and I walked out. Like he said, he's an appetite woman. I ain't going to try to beat on him.
So you have no idea what happened?
None whatsoever, sir.
All right, even though he says you broke his guitar, and you said you were pretending to break it, and you put it down on the ground a little too hard. So in between you pretending to break it and putting it down on the ground too hard, coincidentally, it ended up broken.
Pretty much, sir.
Sir, based on your own testimony, if I just leave his out, based on your own testimony, sir, I find you liable for breaking this man's guitar. You said you were pretending to, you set it on the ground too hard, and it came up broken. He says you broke it, and that's his testimony, and that's why he's suing. I believe him, and I believe you. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff, $3,000.
His girlfriend's kind of goofy looking, so I mean, I don't think, no, I really wouldn't be hitting on her.
Honestly, we broke up since then, but still, she wasn't that bad looking.
I mean, I could do better. That's what I'm trying to say.